Good afternoon, children. What we'll do is today, children, we'll just continue a little bit more a type of revision in this lecture, continuation of lecture 8. Okay, children. Now, what we'll do is we'll just go to file. Okay, we have learned in the previous lecture file import. Okay, click on import and we'll just select from the E drive wallpapers. I will just select one image. Okay, E drive, then I have wallpapers here. Wallpapers, double click and search for the pictures. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll just insert one image, say will image a book. Okay, and I will drag it like this and then make it in a square format. Okay, now I place this here. Okay, children, now when I click here, okay, what happens is my bitmap effects directly get activated. Bitmap means giving special effects, converting your vector graphics into bitmap means into pixels. Okay, that is the joint picture embedded graphics, JPG images. Okay, now here in bitmaps you can say convert to bitmaps, but you children, you can just scroll down here down in 3D effects. See, all the effects are activated, right? But supposing you have drawn your own picture and then you want to give some special effects, like say for example, now you have taken a rectangle here. Okay, children, now in this rectangle, if I go to bitmap and you see 3D effects are not activated here, fine. So what we have to do is we have to convert this particular rectangle into bitmap and then have the special effect. So before converting, what I will do is, children, I will just put a simple color over here. Okay, a single color, you can say any orange or blue background. Now this is blue here, so I'll just take a blue background, and then Miss has taught you this a contour effect in the previous lecture, right, in the chapter number 8. So I will just revise this. Now this was a contour effect, and in the properties here, this is to center, this is inside contour, and this is outside contour, right, children? So what I do is I put this outside contour and increase the steps a bit. Okay, I'll increase some more steps. Okay, children, and then I reduce the size of this box. Fine, the contour effect. So what I do is I'll just drag this a little down and then decrease the size a bit. Okay, still a little more, and then what I do is, children, I will change the outline color also of this contour. Okay, because I want to make a frame out of this. Fine, so I'll change the outline color to yellow. Okay, that's fine. And then what we do is I'll decrease the spacing over here. Okay, so I decrease the space of the offset of the contour. Okay, now this is my object here, contour object. Now I want to place this picture here. So what I do is I right click here and I say order. Okay, order to front of page. Okay, when I click here to front of page, I place this picture inside this particular box. Okay, here, and then I keep the shift key pressed, children, and select, or I can just drag this like this. So my full objects are, both the objects whichever are there are selected, and then I press the right click and I say group objects, or I can press Ctrl G, children, to group my objects which you've learned in the previous lectures. Okay, fine, children. So I group this up and I keep it over here in the page. Fine. Now children, when I go to bitmaps, you see the effects are not there. So what I do is I click on convert to bitmap. Okay, when I say convert to bitmap, it will ask me what is my resolution. DPI stands for dots per inch. Okay, dots per inch. Resolution is 300, and color mode I want to convert into RGB. You want to convert a picture into black and white, you can take it into black and white. CMYK, you can convert into CMYK. Okay. Now here I change it to RGB colors. Okay. Color mode is RGB, red, green, blue. My bitmap will be of RGB and 300 resolution. Now 300 is the maximum DPI, children, but if you have some simple practicing work, then you can make it into 100 DPI or 150 DPI in case if your house computer has a lesser RAM and it doesn't work. Uh, then you can have less resolution so that you can see the effects quickly, but then you don't get the original picture the way you get it in 300 dpi. Okay, so I'll make it into 300 dpi and I say okay, fine children. Now uncompressed file size is 12.9 MBs. That file size is very big of these bitmaps. Okay, so you have to just check the size, but you don't have to worry if you have enough of memory in your hard disk. Otherwise you could just practice and delete the pictures. Okay, so I click on OK. Now once I click on OK, you see now this has become a bitmap, this has become an image. So whatever drawings, vector drawings you do, children, like you have the text, you have your if you want to put Bible word over here, you can just click here on this and click, and you can type Bible here. Okay, and you can even fix this particular image picture over here by rotating. Click here. Okay, I make it bold and then I change the color. Okay, then click here and you can rotate like this and place this here. Okay, I place the text here. Now children, see, if I want to give effects here, again 3D effects are not activated, but if I select this, 3D effects are activated. You see, these are activated. So what I'll do is I'll merge even the Bible. Okay, so Bible word I select, or I can select the whole thing and I say bitmap, convert to bitmaps 300, and I say okay, fine. So now this has become one image. Now this is our creation, what we have done, right children? Now what we do is we apply uh, bitmaps 3D effects. Now in 3D effects I will select a effect called as page curl. Okay children, when I click on page curl I get a box like this. Fine, we can drag this, click here and drag this a little higher. Okay, now here you have directions, you have vertical directions. When I click on horizontal, see, it looks like this. You can have a picture here. If you want opaque, you see the background which was seen over here, okay, is not visible. Now if you say transparent, the background will be little visible. Fine. Now this is the width of your curl, page curl. Fine. Then this is the height. What I'll do is, children, I'll take the down corner so that you'll be able to see. So there are 4 corners of your page. I take the bottom corner so you'll be able to identify properly. Fine. Now here, now the curl color is gray color. If you want to change the color, you see, whatever color, children, I am applying from here, what is happening is, you see there is a background, still white background, which is mentioned. Now here there is a white background. If you want to change, but then background color for this curls I don't want for this image, so that's why it's not activated. There are certain pictures where the background color will not be activated. See, now I want to put a background, it's not activated. So it depends on the picture preview also. You want to reset back again, I can say reset. So it goes to the original settings, previous settings. Okay, whatever. Now this is a color picker where I can click on this color and just pick up the same shade. So I get this blue shade. I want this flower color. So I just click here, so I get this flower color, a white or a purple. See this I took this color picker and I'm just clicking on this, children. I wanted blue, so I take a blue curl. Fine. Now when I say okay here, okay, what happens? It looks like this. Now if I want all the four corners, what I do is, children, I again click on bitmaps and I go to 3D effects. I go to page curl, and in page curl I click. Now this was the top corner, right? So I take the bottom corner and I say okay. I again click on bitmaps, 3D effects, page curl, and this corner, and I say okay. Bitmaps, 3D effects, and this corner. So all my four corners are there. Now I have made a picture here. Okay. Now what I'll do is, children, I will make a duplicate copy of this. I will press Ctrl D, duplicate. Okay. And I will place it here. And I will insert another page over here. I'll say plus sign and I place this over here. So this is my one effect on page 1. Okay. I go to page 2. Now this is a page curl effect. I want to add some more effects on this. So that I will keep it aside, and then on different pages I can try different effects. Okay. 3D effects, you know, it's not activated. Why? I have not selected. That's why. Bitmaps, 3D effects. Cleared with page curl, children. Now what I'll do is I will give you some embossing effects. Okay. You see how it looks? Emboss, the depth of the embossing. Now this will be useful for your chocolates when you make Cadbury chocolates and all. No? In previous further in Photoshop you will be learning a little more of creativity. So all these bitmap effects which are there, children, will be repeated in your 9th standard. Okay, the filter effects will be there in the 9th standard. I wish we come practically in the school to enjoy this practicals. Okay, so here we say depth. Okay, level of the depth, how you want. So this is one kind of embossing effect. So this is how we have special effects applied in our magazines. When we prepare our magazines and all, at that time we have this kind of special effects. When you see some attractive pictures and all in the books, you can apply these kind of effects. I'll show you some more effects, children. Okay, now I just say okay with this, and I'll go to the first page, children, and again I make a duplicate copy of this. How do I do that? I press Ctrl D. Fine, children, and I again drag the picture out here and a plus here, and on page 3 I come. Page 2 I have this. Oh, page 2 is empty now, so my embossing effect is transferred here. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll put this picture here on the second page, and then I come back to bitmaps, and then I have all the other effects. Same way you just have to go through all these effects. Like say for example, I take something like this vortex. Okay, now children, you have this two windows here. When I click on two windows, you can see the effects here also. Fine. Before applying, before saying okay, you can directly preview it over here. If I take a single window, you'll get a direct effect applicable over here. So if you want, and right click will make the picture smaller, left click you'll have a bigger zoom. Fine. So if you want to see the pictures here itself before applying, you can just open this windows. Okay. Now this applies for all the effects which you open up, children. Fine. Now supposing you like this particular effect, you want to see the size of the fur which is flowing. You see this fur is coming up, the size. Then these are the two directions. Now every effect which you apply, children, will have its own properties. Okay. Now all these properties you will be learning in 9th standard, because the bitmap effects, the same effects are applied in Photoshop also. So children, we will see in details how these special effects are applied. Okay, you see the for direction, Fine. Supposing I like this. So then I say okay, children. Now sometimes it takes time, children. See, I'll enlarge this. You see? Can you see the effects? Okay, so this is one effect called vortex. Fine. Then again I click on plus sign, children. I go to page number 1 and I duplicate this. I press Ctrl D again. Drag this out, children. And I come to, now what is happening is page 2 is inserted here. Okay. Page 3 will be empty and page 4 is shifted ahead. So I come back on page 3 and I shift this over here. Okay, children. So this is how, children, you can go through various bitmap effects. Okay, these all are, you just have to click and check. Like say, I'll give you two more effects. Okay, distort and swirl. Okay, see now how swirl looks. You see how the effect is looking. You want to have the whole rotation, you can change the whole rotation. See how it happens. Okay, now this children you can have to your own drawings when you're making some kind of cartoons, or you want to bend them towards the left, towards the right. So this kind of swirl effects, or you've created a sea and then you want to give a sea like water effects and all, at that particular time you can make use of this swirl effect. Fine. Then you have the counterclockwise. You see, Bible was like this, right? So it's changed. I repeat again. Clockwise will look like this. You see the Bible word. Observe the Bible word, children. Okay, clockwise and then counterclockwise. When I say counterclockwise, see what happens? It goes to the opposite side. Fine. Now you can even change here, children, the additional degrees if you want to change. You see the additional degrees are changing of your rotation, your swirl. Okay, so now this can be applied to any drawings, any pictures you want to play with. You can practice that, children, and then you can apply it wherever you want to. Fine, children. Okay, bye, have a nice day. 17 minutes.